talking about buying local.
Yes.
And we love local.
So we're talking about buying local and supporting local and independent as well, right? So
locals first and foremost.
First and foremost, yes.
All right. So Scott, what are some statistics on local wine?
So understanding multiplier effect, which is what happens to your money when you spend it. So it doesn't just come to me, it goes to my employees who then go out to dinner, they pay for apartments or houses or cars and blah, blah, blah. So it just keeps expanding out. So for every $10 that you spend on a local wine, you return $10.05 to the local community. For every $10 you spend on a wine from the West Coast or from another country, you return only 65 cents. So the impact of buying local, not only from a wine standpoint, but from produce, from furniture, from all of that kind of stuff, impacts the whole community dramatically. And sometimes you have to pay more for it because, in my case, I pay my employees a living wage, and when you buy something from Chile, the Chileans are paying $8 a day in their vineyard. So, how can you compete against that? And so buying local, you support your neighbors, you support the electrician, the plumbers, all of that kind of stuff. And I believe wholeheartedly in doing that.
Yeah. So of course we have our drink local. Our bar's packed with
local.
Not only local wines, 40 New York State wines, but spirits, local beer. Maybe out of our 9 tap lines, 7 are always local, regional, and people love it. When we opened in 2003, we never really had that luxury of having 9 tap lines to local, and we never had local whiskey because the law wasn't even in effect then, the distillery farm law.
There were none to find. Now they're all over the place.
It was all big business distilleries back when we opened. Now there's these small farm distilleries, and it's just amazing because you can drink whiskey all night in our bar, and bourbon and rye and all this stuff that's right from here, from New York. That they're sourcing New York grains. They're like contributing too. They're not buying, outside in the vodka.
Well, one of the things that we did along with Anthony Road, and a lot of our equipment is European. The industry here is not up to making all the equipment for crushers and all that kind of stuff. Well, we have a local manufacturing company here that makes tanks. So we went to them, Anthony Road and I, John Martini and I, went to this Vance Metals and said, we want you to start making wine tanks. And we sat down with them, their engineers and stuff, and they started making wine tanks back in 1996, I think it was. Now they're one of the largest wine tank manufacturers in the United States. We're 100% now. All of our tanks are purchased from Vance Metals, and when you think about the multiplier effect, the guys who are making this are making anywhere from $40,000 to $80,000 a year. So when we buy these tanks, it has impacted our community in Geneva dramatically.
That's an awesome success story.
That's awesome, yeah.
And and I tell people, go and always ask. Always ask when you go to a restaurant, when you go to a store. Ask, because unless you ask, and we even ask suppliers, can you source this local? Can you? And in your case, you said, can you fabricate it local?
Yeah.
That is, awesome. That's even going a step above and beyond. You're creating an industry instead of trying to source something that's already being produced. That's really awesome. So I'm glad that we share a lot of these same philosophies here. Yep. I'm really glad that we share a lot of the same philosophy, and I'm glad we're here tasting wine with you today.
Well, this is exciting, and just hearing the things that you guys are doing down there is really exciting.
So real food, real wine, and can we say?
My wife and I are going to have to make a trip down there, that's, for sure.
And can we say real economies, real local economies too in that
totally.
tagline?
Yep.